atop this beautiful racetrack on a sun-drenched day.
The best stock car drivers in the world.
Pre-race activities, you always have the flyover, the national anthem, and you're all amped up. I really get into the race after driver introductions. That's when I can really start to focus on being a race car driver.
But I'm worried about myself. I'm worried about doing the best job that I can, the best job my team can.
Sitting on pit road, I just want to make sure I've got my race face on. I make sure that I'm in the right frame of mind and that I'm ready to go out there and do business.
You really don't get into the racing mode until you're actually in the car and got everything on and flip the switches.
Once I flip the ignition, it's nothing but focus.
And you have those butterflies, but as soon as that green flag drops, you're ready to roll and get in that groove.
The bottom line is when the green flag drops, you're trying to be focused.
Got all those juices flowing, you're amped up, ready to go.
I think that first lap is probably one of the toughest parts of the whole race.
All clear, nice and smooth.
The first hurdle is to get through the first few laps. You know, these are long races, and you don't want to be a casualty early in the race.
Those first few laps, you just feel like you're just kind of let out of the cage and you're ready to go and fighting hard.
You're just making decisions every lap, every corner.
You know, try to pass some cars and move to the front.
200 miles an hour feels like 55 on the freeway. It just ain't that big of a deal.
It feels kind of slow after a while.
Where it all becomes reality is when something goes wrong.
And you really feel like you're going 200 miles an hour.
Up and over.
When you're involved in a wreck,
Greg Biffle gets nailed.
you're like, this is probably going to hurt.
A hellacious hit. He is up and into the air.
As I hit something, I close my eyes and hope that it gets over quickly.
A lot of wrecks happen, and it happens really quickly. You don't even know what's going to happen. Boom.
When you hit a wall, you're going to hit it hard once. When you're flipping, you just keep flipping this. It seems like air is just steadily getting knocked out of you over and over again.
It's always intense and it's never over until you cross that checkered flag.
If I see all the cars in my rearview mirror and nobody's in front of me, that's a good thing.
That's the best feeling right there. That's a good feeling.
You carry across the start-finish line with you a lot of people, and that's a great feeling.
Hear the guys screaming on the radio. See the guys jumping off the pit wall.
In the driver's seat, you're excited, and all the crew guys are excited.
You're the one driving the car, but it's really a team effort. You're going to be able to celebrate with your team. Those guys really deserve it. It's a great feeling to be able to put them in victory lane.
Nothing beats looking at my guys in the faces and seeing how excited they are.
Once you taste that, you want to keep getting more of it.
Deep in the heart of the Pennsylvania mountains sits one of the most unique racing layouts anywhere. The Pocono Raceway is one of a kind, and strange things can happen here. 1 week ago, Jamie McMurray took his second huge checkered flag of the year. The Brickyard wins means his chase hopes are alive. Jamie joins us live today. Kevin Harvick is still enjoying a big points lead, but this is not his best racetrack. It is go time for those on the outside looking in on the chase, and we are looking at 500 long, hard miles of racing today. NASCAR racing since 1974, the 3 unique turns of Pocono have tested man and machine, and today we make one race step closer to the chase cutoff, which comes our way in a mere 6 races. Hello, everybody, and welcome to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. On somewhat of an overcast day, it will take a lot more than a little bit of rain to slow down these race fans out here at Pocono. Good morning, everybody. I'm John Roberts, joined alongside by race car driver number 28, Kenny Wallace. And Kyle Petty. Every time we come to Pocono, yes. I know we tell this story over and over.
Oh, don't tell
But we got to say it again. Kyle Petty's racing his rear end off, driving down the backstretch of Pocono, and all of a sudden some guy comes running across the track.
He was chasing his girlfriend. Not really. I think his girlfriend's boyfriend was chasing him. I think that's what it was.
Anything can and will happen at Pocono.
Yes, it will.
And race fans, it's the unknown. And here we are at Pocono, only 6 races to go to decide who is going to be in this chase for the championship. Now, one thing I know is they cannot afford any problems. Pocono creates problems. We hear the guys are back to shifting now. Will somebody break a transmission? Will somebody blow a tire? This is the big time right now. 6 races to go, guys.
Well, let's take a look at the big picture right now, the championship standings, as we have 6 races to go before the cutoff. For the chase, we see that Kevin Harvick, with his 2 wins, is sitting pretty on top of the points. Jeff Gordon, 184 back.
Yeah, but forget those guys. Those guys are in the chase. Nobody really cares about the 29 and the 24 and the 11. They care about these guys when you get back here with Clint and with Greg Biffle and with Carl Edwards. Here's the deal. Just like Kenny said, 6 races to go. Time's running out for the 5, the 88, the 1, the 9, and the 00. 6 races. It's tough to gain ground.
And one thing I like about NASCAR is they have created drama, and race fans, you have it. And right here, like you said, Kyle Petty, you know, who's going to be in, who's going to be out. I mean, this is incredible. You got Mark Martin and Dale Jr. out of the top 12.
Yeah. Well, you see Jamie McMurray with his 2 wins this season. He also moved up 2 spots, and it was the decision that really made it for Jamie Mack. 2 tires or 4 tires, they decided to go with 2. That put Jamie Mack out front, and he never looked back as he has claimed NASCAR's 2 biggest prizes so far this season in the Daytona 500 and also the Brickyard 400, and also history in the making there for owner Chip Ganassi, who took the 3 biggest prizes in auto racing this year, the Brickyard 400, Indy 500, and Daytona 500. For more, let's go to Wendy Venturini.
Well, still smiles here at the One Team. I'm with crew chief Kevin Bono Mannion. Now, Kevin, I've heard that you guys had a test session on Monday, so you really haven't had time to celebrate that Brickyard 400 victory.
No, not yet. That's one we're not going to forget, though. So right into work again Monday morning to test at Road Atlanta, getting ready for the Glen. And a couple days getting ready to come up to Pocono, so no celebration yet.
Okay, so you're going to get some very cool hardware throughout the season. I know it's all about these crew members and crew chiefs collecting those rings, so it's a pretty cool year for you overall as a crew chief, hasn't it?
It's a dream season for sure, as somebody told me the other day, and that's something that we probably, hopefully we can repeat, but to get them 2 races is pretty difficult.
It seems like the work, it just continues on. We come here to Pocono, you're back at square one, you got to put a victory behind you. What do you guys need to do to gain some points to make that chase in 6 more races?
Well, we need somebody to have some bad luck, which I don't wish upon anybody. It's very difficult to run good here at Pocono for us. We really struggle here, and we have a good, comfortable driving car, but it doesn't have a whole lot of speed. So hopefully everyone gets kind of out of control and loose, and we just keep plugging along. And I joked with Jamie last night. I said, man, you got your cruise set on 35 because you're driving like your grandfather's Cadillac. But it's going to be a long day, and hopefully we can be there at the end.
All right, well, congratulations on the win. Good luck today. Jamie McMurray and the One Team are 16th in points. Johnny, 151 out of 12th.
And you got to remember back to this point a few seasons ago, Matt Kenseth was, what, 203, 206 points out. He made it back in, so if he can do it, anybody can do it. And it looks like this year we're shaping up to go into Richmond with many more drivers really involved in this thing.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be incredible. And every year it comes right down to that last 10 laps at Richmond. That's why you never tune away from NASCAR races. I watched this driver, Jamie McMurray, that just got done winning the Brickyard 400, 3-4 years ago. He's in the chase. He blows a motor with 10 laps to go at Richmond. Kyle, I'll never forget that night. It was heartbreaking for him. Here he comes back this year and wins the Daytona 500 and Indy.
The 2 biggest races, Ganassi, the 2 biggest races. That team, a driver that was written off, that they said, Jamie can't make it at this level. Jamie's going to have to go do something else. He comes back and wins this. But you start talking about the points, and you talk about Matt. Matt came back from 200 and some points, like you say. One thing about drivers, and Kenny can attest to this, I don't care if they're 400 out. They believe in their heart and in their mind they can come back. These guys in 15th, 16th, 17th, they're not worried about it yet. They're going to worry about it in a couple of races, but time is running out.
Jamie McMurray is the poster child of why you and crew members and crew chiefs should never give up on a driver. The story in the garage area goes like this. Jeff Burton, Jamie McMurray, all left Roush Racing to go on and win with other teams. Don't ever give up on your driver. Believe in him, and sometimes different situations bring out the best in that driver.
And Jamie will join us live in just a few minutes here on NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. Let's take a look up at the skies and see what's coming our way today. It doesn't look too good right now, but we like to think positively here on Race Day. It says 65% chance of precipitation at race time. What we think that means 35% chance that it's not going to rain. And it's going to take a lot more than a little bit of rain to stop these fans out here at Pocono Raceway. We got 4-time champion Jeff Gordon joining us in just a few minutes as well, so stay with us.
He's got the season's 2 biggest wins and a handful of solid finishes. But Jamie Mack sitting outside of the chase looking in. We'll give you the peaks and valleys of his season and let you know if the top 12 is in his forecast.
Hell of a job, man. That's what we needed to finish.
Around the Turn, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
NASCAR Race Day is built by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And brought to you in part by eHarmony. Are you ready to fall in love?
Bushkill Falls is fondly known as the Niagara of Pennsylvania, has been called that since 1904, and should not be confused with Buzzkill Falls, which is not a good place to
The
go.
Niagara of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. They have Pennsylvania and Native American exhibits, and it's a true paradise for nature lovers up here in the Pocono Mountains. Now, race fans and race lovers will love this view as we go around this racetrack. 3 straightaways, 3 completely different race turns on this track, guys. Makes it an absolute one of a kind.
This racetrack changes constantly. Sometimes we're shifting, sometimes we're not. It just changes every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and that's a great shot of it right there. You see the long front straightaway, the short chute, which comes out of turn 1 to the next, and then a real short chute going into turn 3. It is 3 corners, 3 totally different areas, compromise every lap. It's incredible. Here's the 5 in-car coming around. He's coming across the tunnel turn right here. There's a crossover gate right here to the right. He comes across the tunnel turn. This is a corner that everybody sets up for and wants to make time. This is the patch that everybody talks about. This is that new piece of pavement. It was new, I don't know how many years ago, but it's beginning to lose some grip, which makes this corner a lot more exciting.
And the winters are so harsh up here in Mount Pocono that you'll see the black stripes. That's where they fill the cracks because the snow sits on it all winter. Mark heads down here. Race fans, listen to this. 215 miles an hour as you enter turn 1, Kyle.
Yeah, and you heard him upshift when he got to the start-finish line. He comes through turn 1 here. They run a lot higher than they used to. He lets it drift up to the corner, and if you hear him right here, he's shifted again right there. He pulls back into another gear. And here's the face cam. This is a great shot. We've not seen this shot this year. This is Mark sitting in there, and you see going across the tunnel turn. You can see out the back glass, which is just incredible. I wish we could see his hands and see what he was doing and could really see his eyes right here.
One thing I'd like to point out is these drivers are driving in different seats now. They have to hold their shoulders together. Has changed some of the driving characteristics. Their elbows cannot get up like they used to.
And once again, hats off to our good friends at BSI who provide us these incredible in-car looks. The difference in the turns here, 14 degrees, 8 degrees, and 6 degrees in the 3 different bankings, so you never know exactly what's going to happen in any one of these turns. As Kenny mentioned just a moment ago, they build up such high speed heading into the corners. They call it a roval because it's almost as hard as the road course on the brakes. Right now, let's go to Hermie Sadler, who is on the racetrack to show us one of the unique aspects of this interesting layout.
Thank you, JR. I'm standing on turn 3 here at the Pocono Raceway. And do you guys remember what happened last time here in turn 3 back in June? That's right, the contact heard around the world. Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick get together in turn 3. Logano goes for a spin. Kevin Harvick continues on, but Joey Logano did come back for a good finish that particular day. Now, one thing about this corner, a couple years ago, NASCAR on the racetrack put a new strip of asphalt up here in turn 3 called the grip strip, affectionately. Well, what we've seen here the last couple races is this strip has started to wear, not quite as much grip. And what have we seen? We've seen drivers go back to the bottom of the racetrack, the shortest way around, to try to make passes against drivers using this strip. And what that does is create some very interesting races off of turn 3. You might see the slide job, a guy sliding from the bottom up to the top to complete a pass. Watch out for that today. A couple other things watch out for: shifting. That's right, NASCAR a couple years ago eliminated the overdrive transmission. We thought that may be the end of shifting here at Pocono, but not so fast. These drivers have seen that at the end of a tire run, the speeds fall off so much, 2.5 to 3 seconds a lap. They're finding that they upshift back to 3rd gear off that tunnel turn to get extra momentum. Heading into turn 3, it can pick them up some speed at the end of a long run. And turn 1, that will be an issue today as well. We've seen a lot of cars get loose on turn 1 this weekend. This thing is going to be a handful today for 500 miles. Johnny?
Hermie, thanks a lot. Now, in years past, they talk about the difference in these 3 turns was so great that, guys, you'd have to set up your car to be good in either the 2 flat ones or the 1 higher banked one. Can you do that anymore and be successful here? Or do you have to be good in all 3?
You know, the reason you tune into NASCAR all the time is you never know what's going to happen. We come here 5 years ago, 8 years ago, and they said, no more shifting. The car would go down the straight, wah, wah. And like, wow, they're shifting. NASCAR said, no more shifting. Then, Kyle, then they put this new asphalt strip in. Then the cars are running lower springs. To me, this track changes more than any track we are running at.
Yeah, it's amazing. You come up here the first race, it's totally different. And you know, you look at this racetrack and to follow up what he's talking about, the shifting and stuff, that was an overdrive transmission. They don't allow them to run the overdrive transmission. They can shift. They never said you can't shift. You just can't run the overdrive transmission. So these guys have gone back to it. You ask about the 3 corners. You can't set up for these 3 corners perfectly. No way on God's green earth you're ever going to get all 3 right. You've got to compromise, and that's why so many people set up for turn 3, because it's such a long straightaway. You want to be able to make time and pass people getting into turn 1. But this week, we've heard more this week about people having trouble with the bumps in 1 and getting off of turn 1 to get to the tunnel turn. So it constantly changes here.
And Kyle, the imminent danger, this tunnel turn is one of the most dangerous corners in our sport. We always talk about how safe our sport is. It was that corner right there that ended Bobby Allison's career. So when you go through this tunnel turn, you got to be careful. You don't want to go through the side by side. It's really tough.
All right, who knows what's going to happen on this big triangular shaped racetrack today, but we do know what happened in the past couple of weeks in speed fantasy picks. The NASCAR Race Hub is beating up on everybody, and the only team we're beating right now is Trackside. You can sign up at speedfantasyracing.com and play along with us on Speed's Fantasy Racing Cup Edition. And guys, we got to do something about that Race Hub team. Today we have Jeff Gordon, Juan Pablo Montoya, and Travis Quapple as our 3 picks, and Jeff Gordon has won here 4 times before and could make it a 5th.
We're getting beat. Who picks for race day every week?
I don't know.
Who is that guy?
I'm really not sure who that guy is.
Who is that guy, Kenny?
I don't know.
I have no idea who picks for
I need to give him a knuckle sandwich.
I don't know who picks for us.
Let's not say it. When we come back, Wendy Venturini will have the latest news from the garage area, and also we will have an update on the condition of Jack Roush after that scary plane accident last Tuesday. Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot this weekend at Pocono Raceway. Everybody is thinking about and pulling for the Cat in the Hat, Jack Roush. It was last Tuesday when he had a very scary landing at an air show up in Wisconsin. What happened to the plane, we understand, was that it just lost power and slammed to the runway. The good news is that even after how scary it looks, that Jack Roush is doing okay after facial surgery at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, and everybody is saying, get back to the track, Jack. And right now, a lot of drivers who worked with Jack now and worked with him in the past are saying what kind of passion he has for flying and racing and are hoping he comes back soon.
Let me tell you, he takes a lot of pride in being a great pilot, and I've flown with Jack a lot, and I'd fly with him again today. But you know, it's sad to see what he's going through, but he's tough, and he'll be okay.
Definitely, we're going to miss him here at the racetrack, but I have a feeling, as tough as Jack is and as dedicated as he is to all of this and all of us and all of you guys for that matter, just the whole sport, I think he'll be back real soon. I don't see him missing too much time at the racetrack.
You know, we're thankful that he was kind of out of the woods now, and we know that he's got, some surgeries to go through probably, and, it's going to be a little bit of road to recovery, but we know he's going to be all right and back at it.
Yeah, like those drivers said, Jack is one tough cat, and we hope you're back at the track soon, Jack. Now for more news, let's go to Wendy Venturini in the garage area. Wendy?
Thank you, Johnny. We followed those sentiments on Jack Roush. Now, there's been a lot of news happening this week since we left Indianapolis, and that has to do with some crew chiefs, and it has to do with a crew chief staying, and that is Steve Letarte, signed on for an extension at Hendrick Motorsports with driver Jeff Gordon through 2014. It's a 3-year extension, which puts him on the same time map as Jeff Gordon. So those two stick together for 3 more years. Now, we also heard that there will be a driver change at JTG, and that is Marcos Ambrose will be leaving the number 47 at the end of this season. Going into that car will be Bobby Labonte driving for the number 47 JTG Racing in 2011. Now, the speculation in the garage is what's going to happen to Marcos Ambrose. Now, there's 2 options. He said he could possibly go back to Australia. The other option is if he were to stay in NASCAR. Keep in mind, he's had a lot of success in the past with Ford Racing. Ford loves Marcos Ambrose. What does that mean? Well, there's one Ford that is empty in 2011. Happens to be going behind me in the tech line. So that's what the speculation and people are saying in the garage. Who's going to be in the number 9? It is open right now, and Marcos Ambrose is still undecided for next year. Johnny?
Wendy, thanks a lot. There were also reports last week that a couple of top-tier NASCAR drivers were fined heavily by NASCAR for making what they called disparaging comments about the sport. And since there's no real secrets in NASCAR, the truth eventually comes out. We learned this week that it was Denny Hamlin was one of the drivers who was fined, as well as Ryan Newman for comments they had made And one of the big things about Denny Hamlin that we've learned is that he made his comments on the social website, Twitter, if it's a website, I don't know what you call it, twits, tweets, twaps, whatever you call it.
Whatever.
He said that, but now the big
Slap you. Slap you. It's Twitter.
Twitter. Okay, a tweet. A Twitter tweet. Whatever happened in that thing, the fans now are asking, is it too much for NASCAR to police what drivers say, and can you therefore then believe what the drivers are saying if they're censored like that and subject to fines?
I think the drivers should be able to say whatever they feel, and I don't believe that. I don't think they need to be that disparaging on the sport. Maybe some things that have been said have been too disparaging as far as NASCAR looks at it. What bothers me about Denny's is Denny, and some of the comments I read about Denny's were direct messages, which means it's like you've tapped into my texting. You're reading my texting. Whatever I'm saying privately, now you're fining me for it privately. So I don't believe that NASCAR should step into that private side.
But Twitter's as public as it can be, Kyle.
But direct message is not Twitter. You need to get on Twitter so you understand.
I am on Twitter.
Twitter is
out
okay.
there for everybody to see.
But direct message is not. If I send you a direct message that says, meet me over here for barley pop later. According to Denny, some of the stuff was direct message. But I agree with it. Look, I disagree on some of it, okay? And we're gonna have to agree to disagree on some of this part. Kenny's not even chimed in, and he's the king of Twitter.
Yeah, but because I like to let you finish, because you make some very valid points. But let me say this.
He's polite.
We've been seeing this over a year. When athletes, I don't care if you're NFL, NBA, it can be anything, hockey, whatever. Whenever an athlete Twitters his feelings, you bet it's a fine line you walk, because if you talk bad about your crew chief, your tire guy, or anything like that, man, it can open up a whole can of worms. Now, I will say this, NASCAR, right now, here I wrote it down. Don't trash the sport that feeds you. I think that you can talk about it in a way that doesn't make them look bad. And I think right now we're bordering that.
Okay, and I agree with all that. But
you do?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with all that. But all I'm going to say is this. Last time I checked, Pocono, Pennsylvania was in America, and we should have the right to say what we want to say. Sorry. My opinion. Okay, sorry.
And on the other hand, the fans read through our bull. They know when we're feeding them a line of bull. They know. I have fans that come up to me all the time, and they'll say, hey, Kenny, when you get off that TV show, tell me what you really think.
This is what he thinks. This is what he thinks all the time.
This is my Twitter.
Yeah, if you want to Twitter or tweet Kenny, tell him what you think about this. We got to take another quick break here on NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. It is not raining right now at Pocono, and that's the good news. That's what we all can agree on. Tomorrow night, only one NASCAR show delivers the drivers, crew chiefs, and the latest news and information. This week on NASCAR Race Hub, we have Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton, Darian Grubb, and Ron Hornaday, just to name a few. Now, there are guys on the outside looking in, and time is running out. They want to be in this chase, and that battle continues today.
It's that time of year again, when August comes around and our attention turns to the chase. Some guys on the bubble have reasons to look up over the next 6 weeks, while others should sweat the upcoming venues. We'll show you how those fighting for a chase spot have fared at future tracks, and tell you which drivers have the best chance to go chasing. Straight ahead, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
There is simply not much room at the end when it comes to the chase for NASCAR's top prize. In order for somebody to break into the top 12, somebody has to drop out. It's one of the most coveted positions in NASCAR right now, a spot in the chase, and no one's giving it up easily.
With only 6 races remaining, time is quickly fading away for drivers trying to race their way into the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. Less than 250 points separate 10th place Carl Edwards from 18th place pointsman David Rudiman. With a mix of short tracks and super speedways, flat tracks and high bank monsters, plus a twisting road course added for good measure, who does the advantage go to? You be the judge. Sitting 13th in points, just 62 points out of the chase, veteran Mark Martin has gone through more championship fights than any of his younger counterparts, and has won at all of the upcoming tracks with the exception of Pocono. But excluding his 5th career win last year at Michigan, all of his wins came at those tracks prior to 1998.
Mark Martin has won his 2nd Winston Cup race.
Watkins Glen is the wild card, a tricky road course that can dash a driver's championship hopes at the blink of an eye. Scoring 3 straight wins from 1993 to 1995, Martin is the only bubble driver to win at the Glen. Roush teammates Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle are in perhaps the best position to make the chase, sitting 10th and 11th respectively in points. Edwards has won at 4 of the 6 tracks coming up, including 3 at Atlanta. Biffle has only a pair of wins at Michigan to show in the stretch, but a strong run at Indy can do nothing but continue to boost the 16 team's morale. The improved performance of the new Ford FR9 engines have the Blue Oval's flagship teams feeling optimistic. Cliff Bowyer precariously sits on the bubble. The 33 team has performed well recently, only to have late race mishaps knock them from a better spot in the standings.
No one stepping out of line, and Cliff Bowyer gets turned halfway down the back straightaway. He'll spin wildly to the bottom of the racetrack as Harvick will lead the 3.
Teammates Kevin Harvick and Jeff Burton are safely in the chase, which might allow RCR to focus more attention to Bowyer's team. It doesn't hurt Bowyer's confidence either that he has a win at Richmond, the final race leading up to the chase. Dale Earnhardt Jr. sits 14th in points, just 93 behind Bowyer. After a dismal 2009 season, Dale Jr. comes into the next 6 events, having won at 4 of those speedways. Traditionally, Richmond has been one of Junior's best tracks, scoring 3 wins there. And Michigan was the site of his last win, and to date only win for Hendrick Motorsports back in 2008. Ryan Newman made the chase in his first season with Stewart Haas Racing last year. But 2010 has seen the 39 team have its share of troubles, currently sitting 15th in points, 147 out of the final chase spot. Although Newman has won at 3 of the 6 upcoming tracks, all of those wins came driving for Roger Penske early in his Sprint Cup career. The final 3 drivers vying to make it into the chase could be spoilers.
Jamie McMurray is going to win Daytona and the Brickyard 400 in the same year.
Jamie McMurray is 16th in points, 151 points out of 12. Wins at Daytona and Indy and runner-up finishes at Talladega and Charlotte have shown that the one team can outrun the best of them on the sport's biggest stages. Casey Kane is just 5 points behind McMurray, and for much of the season has been the best performing Ford. Kane won the Labor Day weekend event at Atlanta last year, and in total has won at 4 of the next 6 tracks, including his first series win at Richmond in 2005. David Rudiman is 18th in points, 177 out of the chase. A breakout win at Chicagoland and the contract extension with MWR have Rudiman riding high. But problems such as those at the Brickyard have to be avoided if Rudiman wants to remain in championship contention. 9 drivers, each with an opportunity to race their way into NASCAR's version of the playoffs. Only 3 will make it, and 500 grueling miles at Pocono begin a month-long journey to the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup.
All right, there are a lot of numbers involved there, a lot of confusing numbers, but the bottom line is this. Anybody that's out believes they can make it in, and anybody that's in right now really wants to hold on to that spot, because if you're out, you're a second-class citizen.
Here's my opinion. I will give you my prediction right now. I say that the top 14 only have a chance, and here's why I feel that strongly about that. You're asking for Tony Stewart, you're asking for Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, and Bowyer to fall out so Dale Jr. can get in.
Yeah.
And he's, I mean, to me, there's just too good of cars.
Yeah.
Now, that's my opinion.
Yeah, my opinion is this. From Tony Stewart, if you go Tony Stewart all the way back to David Rudiman, these guys are fighting for that 12th position. And guess what? They're going to be sitting at the kids' table at the banquet. No matter if they make the chase or not, they're not making the head table. I'm sorry. The champion is not coming from this group. All we're really discussing is who's in the chase and who's out of the chase. But the champion is going to come from the other end. It's going to be the 48, the 24, the 11, some of those guys that are up front. So we're discussing this right now, but once we get to the chase, it's not an issue.
Well, yeah,
not for me anyway.
In my opinion, is this. We talked about Matt Kenseth a couple years ago or last year, making up 200 points. I just think there's too good of teams in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th spot. Tony Stewart, a lot of good guys. So Yeah, well, he's got his opinion. I got mine.
No question about that.
Let me be real clear. I'd like to be sitting at the kids' table. That's what I'm saying, okay?
Absolutely.
I'd like to be in a chase, but I'm just saying that when you look at this, it's exactly right. Only a few people are going to change hands here. It's not going to be this wide-reaching next 6 races, but there's going to be a lot of drama in these 6 races because there's going to be some people that close up and that move back, just like Jamie McMurray. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. These guys have got to put these races together.
And tune into Speed because the banquet is on Speed TV out of Vegas.
Good note.
I'd be at the blackjack table if I wasn't at the kids' table.
Now, had you watched Speed yesterday, you would have seen a very popular win in the Camping World Truck Series right here as they made history running their first race at Pocono. When we come back, we will show you highlights of that race as well.
Who won?
I'm not going to tell you right now.
Who won?
It's called a tease, Kenny. Hey, race fans, how would you like to have an official Sunoco Racing fuel can? Visit speed.com/Sunoco for entry details, official rules, and drawing dates. We will also talk with 4-time Pocono winner and 4-time champion Jeff Gordon when we come back to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. Race number 21 of the 2010 Sprint Cup season brings us back to the Pocono Raceway for the 2nd time in just a little more than a month. Smoke, Tony Stewart, was on fire on Friday as he took the pole position, and he will lead us to the green flag when it waves this afternoon just after 1 Eastern time. Denny Hamlin is going for his 3rd straight Pocono win, and if he gets it, he will tie Bill Elliott with 5 victories for the most all-time at this triangular racetrack. Now, perhaps the most pumped-up driver is Jamie McMurray coming off his win at Indianapolis. It was his 2nd huge win of the season and puts him 1 step closer to possibly making the chase. When it comes to the chase, Kevin Harvick is leading the way as he has a very comfortable points lead. He's on top for the longest time in his career. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the championship standings as we have 6 to go before the cutoff. Now, when you talk about bonus points, the numbers in parentheses next to the drivers' names, that's the race wins. And Kyle Petty, that means 10 more points than they will have over their competitors when it comes time for the chase.
Yeah, and once you go into the chase, you look at Kevin with 2, with Kurt Busch with 2, with Kyle Busch with 2, but you look at Denny and Jimmy with 5. That's huge right now. And that's why these next 6 races are important to some of these guys to get those bonus points.
You know what's interesting about that? The drivers that have not won. There's more drivers that have not won. I mean, it's pretty incredible, those guys winless.
Only half of the top 12 have visited Victory Lane so far. Ryan Newman's been there, Jamie McMurray's been there twice, and David Ruderman has as well, and they simply do not want to leave those bonus points on the table if they do not make the chase. You can see the fire in the eyes of the 4-time champion, Jeff Gordon, as he gets set to take on this Pocono Raceway and perhaps get his 5th victory at this track. Things did not go well for the champ at Indy as he had some tire problems along the way. In fact, Hendrick Motorsports on the whole did not have a driver in the top 10 at Indy, and that is very rare because they are the winningest team at that racetrack. But now let's go to Hermie Sadler, who is standing by with 4-time Pocono winner and 4-time champ Jeff Gordon.
Well, Jeff Gordon coming into Pocono, 6 races to go into the chase. A couple news items with your team this week. First of all, Steve Letarte has announced that he has signed an extension to basically stay there as long as you stay there with the 24 team. And I know you've been, a good combination with Steve Letarte for a long time and are happy that he's going to stay with you.
No, very happy about that. Steve, I think, is great for our organization, great for the DuPont Chevrolet team. I think we have great chemistry. And, I think it's shown on the racetrack this year how well we've performed. So I think that's good to just kind of take that weight off everybody's shoulders and really allow us to just focus on getting those wins, getting this championship done this year.
Another piece of news that may come a little bit more of a surprise to the race fans at home is the fact that you're changing spotters starting this weekend. Spotters are a big deal in NASCAR racing, especially today. Why the change, and what do you think Jeff Dickerson can bring to the table to help get you guys to victory lane?
Well, Shannon was a great spotter. We worked very well together for a number of years. But I think, especially now with the double file restarts, green, white checkers, that chemistry between the two of you is in what you're thinking and what they're telling you just has to go hand in hand. And so, an opportunity came to us because Jeff Dickerson was looking to do something different. And so, he's known to be one of the best spotters in the garage area. So, we looked at that as an opportunity for us to try to make our team better. We're always looking to try to make our team better.
What's the state of the union here for the 24 team with these 6 races left? You're pretty well solid in the points, but I know you guys want to knock down a couple wins before you head into the chase. What's going to make that difference heading down the stretch?
Well, we just got to keep working hard. You know, it seems like there are certain tracks that we excel at right now, which you know, I feel like the mile and a halves are really been the tracks that we've done well at this year, which I'm excited about because, you know, that's what the chase is primarily made up of, and I feel like, you know, that's where our strengths are. We're a little disappointed. Obviously, we haven't gotten to victory lane. We feel like, you know, we've put ourselves in position a few times and just haven't pulled it off. So, you know, that's what we're looking to do, is just continue to put ourselves in that position, lead laps, and hopefully, you know, we'll find that little bit of magic there at the end of the race to be able to pull off that win. We've got a great car here today, qualifying 4th. And, you know, I think that every weekend we're going with a shot to win, and that's what it's all about for us. I mean, every weekend's about winning, but for us, you know, trying to really get ourselves positioned in the chase in a way that we can battle for this championship. You don't want to give up 50 points to anybody, let alone the 48 and the 11 and you know, some other bonus points to guys like the 29 and others, and you know, you just don't want to do that. So, you know, we're doing everything we can to try to make up some of those bonus points, but I feel like if we can do that, I feel like we're as good as anybody for this championship.
And before we let you go, we want to catch you up on Thursday, a Boy Scout event. You and Dale Earnhardt Jr. went. 100 years old the Boy Scout is. I know you enjoy doing stuff like that with the kids.
Yeah, like you said, the 100th anniversary for the Boy Scouts of America. National Guard, you know, has played a big role in supporting them. They have their big jamboree, and there's 50,000 kids that were there. It was really cool for Junior and I to get a chance to go there and interact with them. And, you know, these really, truly are future leaders of companies, of military, who knows, might even be a future president there, and it was very, very cool to be a part of that.
Well, Jeff Gordon always doing stuff for the kids, very involved in charity, but he wants to get it done on the racetrack today. We'll see how he and Jeff Dickerson and Steve Letarte get it done today here at Pocono. Johnny?
Hermie, thanks a lot. You can ask Jeff Gordon the question, can you win a championship without winning a race? And the answer right now has to be no. It was Jimmy Johnson's 3rd championship that Jeff Gordon was chasing him, averaged a top 5 finish in the chase, and still lost the championship.
Well, Jeff Gordon, he's there to win. He hasn't capitalized on it. My gosh, he's been leading with 5 to go. Caution comes out. Double file restarts have changed the game for Jeff Gordon this year. It changed it at Martinsville, it changed it at Phoenix, Kyle. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know how much the spotter is going to help him. You know, he talks about the spotter. He's changing spotters 6 races before the chase. You know what I mean? That's a big deal. They're going to have to gel really quick. But one thing Jeff and Steve said, and I've mentioned it 10 million times, early in the year on a radio interview, they said, we've got to win races to win the championship. You're not going to beat Jimmy Johnson running 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You've got to win races. And they're not winning races right now. They know they have to, so they're doing everything they can. And I think that's why the spotter move is such a big move now. They're saying, let's throw everything we can at it before we get to the chase.
Is it too much to say, just do yes or no, is it too much to say that a spotter can help you win a race or could win you a race?
If Jeff Gordon wants to change spotter and it makes him happy,
that's right,
then it's going to be better. It's psychological. The driver's looking for something.
Yeah, he said it right there. These double file restarts, and we've seen Jeff get his butt kicked a couple of times on double file restarts. He thinks the spotter can help him, and if he thinks that, it will help him.
And there is nothing better for a driver's psychological makeup than winning a race, any kind of race. And we'll show you exactly how that happened for one driver on the Cup Series as he raced a truck yesterday at Pocono. We'll be back with highlights in a moment. Welcome back to Race Day, everyone. Just down the road from the Pocono Raceway is the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Yankees. They're a AAA farm team of the New York Yankees, and they play in the very fan-friendly PNC Field. They've been there for over 20 years. The Norfolk Tides were in town this week, giving the Yanks all they could handle. And how could you not just love Champ, the mascot? As he, watch what he does to the umpire here. That's an old gag. But you know what, though? The umpire couldn't see it.
We need him on race day.
Because he's blind, right?
We need him on race day.
All right, we'll get Champ on race day for Kyle. Let's now jump up with Joey Logano and get our Home Depot hot lap.
Hey, I'm Joey Logano with your Home Depot hot lap. Last June we were here, had an awesome run going, got wrecked. So we really need to redeem ourselves this week and really get the finish that we deserved here earlier. So I feel like I got a good car. I got a brand new Home Depot Toyota out there, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. The biggest thing here at Pocono seems like it's crazy is the restarts. Definitely a lot of 3-4 wide, a lot of drafting going on. It's like a super speedway down these front straightaway, and then the one off of 1 there, the straightaway there. So it's definitely really crazy with aero and all that. So that's when you want to get most of the positions you can. And then after that, it kind of spreads out. So you see a lot of aggressive driving right off the bat here at Pocono. So that's your Home Depot hot lap.
Thanks, Joey. We'll be keeping an eye on you today as well. And also, the Camping World Truck Series made some series history yesterday as they raced here at the Pocono Raceway for the first time ever in the series. And it was Elliott Sadler driving the number 2 truck owned by Kevin Harvick Incorporated, leading us to the green flag as he had the pole position. And take a look as he's being chased down here by Casey Kane in the number 18 truck. Gets a little caught up, and Casey goes by to take the lead away from Elliott Sadler. But we were not done racing yet, and not done spinning yet as well, as you see your series points leader Todd Bodine go for a spin. A lot of smoke, but no damage to the truck. It wasn't that bad of an incident for Todd Bodine, but this was a little bit worse of an incident for your reigning series champion Ron Hornaday. Somehow gets through there without getting hit, but ends up in the inside retaining barrier there. But now let's go for the stretch run here in NASCAR's version of the overtime, the green-white checkered flag. It was Elliott Sadler, who has now joined an elite group of drivers who have won on all 3 of NASCAR's top series. It's been a long time since Elliott Sadler has been able to do a burnout, and he certainly celebrated after this one. New father of Wyatt, Elliott Sadler was the winner of the first ever Pocono Mountains 125. Let's take a look at Truck Series points. Eric Almirola was able to eat in just a little bit to Todd Bodine's lead yesterday, and up there as well with a chance at the championship, Johnny Sauter, your Daytona winner, Timothy Peters, Matt Crafton, Hornaday, Mike Skinner, Austin Dillon up there as well as Jason White rounds out your top 10. Let's now check in. Actually, what we're going to talk about first, though, is that win and how important it is for Elliott Sadler to actually get a win. That's going to go do wonders for his psyche.
Forget the win. He beat Casey Kane, his teammate in the Cup Series. So I don't want to hear anything that, oh, he won a truck race. Race fans, he beat Casey Kane in Kyle Busch's truck. Kane drove Kyle Busch's truck, and he beat him, and that is big because, you know, Casey Kane is thought of as a great race car driver.
And it's a big win. It's a big win for Elliott mentally. He's been beat down over the last year or so. And we, on Victory Lane last week in Indianapolis, Jamie McMurray took the time to mention Elliott Sadler by name and say, hang in there. It's going to come. You're just not in the right situation. Elliott got in the right situation, showed he can drive a car or a truck, whatever it may be, whatever the case may be, shows that he's still a winner. So I think mentally for him, when he went to sleep last night, he went to sleep a winner. He got up this morning.
We all should not forget that Elliott Sadler has won several times on NASCAR's top series and has many years of great driving left. What's better than one Sadler on race day? How about 2 Sadlers? Let's go to Hermie and brother.
Well, they had the Camping World Truck Series highlights yesterday, and winner Elliott Sadler. That sounds pretty good. Congratulations on a big win for you yesterday.
Man, that meant so much to be able to win up here in the inaugural race and sit on the pole and kind of do it in fashion and race against some really good guys. Have fun racing, you know, Denny Hamlin, Todd Bodine, especially Casey Kane, my teammate. And it was a big win for us. So so proud of everybody at KHI. And we had GT Vach on board, also Aria Casino in Las Vegas, and it was neat to put that in the books yesterday.
One thing you said that really kind of struck out, you know, to me is the biggest win you see it since your first win in 2001. Why is that?
Well, I just think, you know, the last few years have been kind of tough, and, you know, people starting to write me off as a driver and how much I won and how much fire I got left, and it's still a lot left in the tank. And we were just so determined to win a race this year and run good in that truck and to show people what we're all about and what we can do behind the wheel of a race car, no matter whether we're racing on Saturday or Sunday. So it was a big win for me and my family, and I'm so glad everybody was here involved. And you know, Stanley's been behind me 100%, and so is Coca-Cola and great companies like that to give me the okay and the support to get in this truck and get in the nationwide car and race as much as I can and get as much experience and time on the track. And for us to win yesterday, I can't thank Kevin and Delana enough for having the faith in me and the trust in me to be able to come out here and run good. And yesterday it seemed like all the pieces of the puzzle came together, and man, I couldn't be happy. Still very emotional this morning when I woke up to get to walk to the front of the bus and see those trophies sitting there.
Well, he hopes to carry some of that momentum today. Special paint scheme today, carrying the colors of the U.S. Air Force on the 19 car. Johnny?
Hermie, thanks a lot. Very special guest with Elliott, too. He's got a general down there in the pits. He better not mess anything up because that general will make you drop and do 20. All right, let's take a look at what's coming up for the Camping World Truck Series. Next Saturday, the thunderous sound of horsepower will take over Music City, and we're there as the world's toughest trucks. Trade some paint under lights. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Nashville next Saturday at 8:30 Eastern, only on Speed. It can make you a hero or a zero. It's the toughest call in NASCAR, and we'll talk about it when we come back.
Fresh off his Brickyard win, McMurray says hello and tells us that being both the 500 and Indy champ is as cool as it sounds. Then the Biff lets us know what it's like clinging to a spot in the top 12 and what it'll take to keep the 16 car in the chase picture. Heading your way, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
More and more these days in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series competition, races are won and lost in the pits. Just ask Jamie McMurray and Juan Pablo Montoya in their different strategies at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Juan Pablo took 4 tires, got back in the pack, had to push, and therefore didn't win the race. But it was Jamie McMurray with 2 fresh tires that won the Brickyard, and therefore they made the right call.
When it comes down to 2 tires versus 4 tires, I'm more often going to want the track position. I'm more often going to want that over the 4 tires.
Well, I think it's different with every driver because there's some drivers don't even like 2 tires. You know, Rusty and even Mark. Mark's not a big 2-tire guy. I mean, for years you were a lot better off putting 4 tires on Mark than ever put 2 on. It all depends on the driver and what they run really fast on.
You know, we kind of go back and forth, and usually in my case, I'll go with what the driver thinks, you know, what Casey thinks, because he's got a better feel for it than we do as a crew chief sitting on the box.
Well, we try to make the decision together. You know, we very seldom do something, one of us on our own. It's after the fact, whether it's good or bad, we understand it, we made it together, and we live and die together by it.
You know, there's always disagreements on pit calls. And from my perspective, I have to give Jay the benefit of the doubt as much as possible because he can see things I can't. You know, he can see the cars in front of me and whether they're not going to take 2 or they're going to take 4 or whatever they're going to do. He can see my track position, he can see my speeds relative to the field, and he can make a more educated decision.
The final decision is 9 times out of 10 made by the crew chief unless the driver feels really strong about doing something different. But, you know, you try to give him an idea why you're basing your decision so that way he lines up with you is what you want.
And that's what our competition meetings are for on Monday, is to not always say what you did right, but to say what you did wrong. And it's how you can do that as a team to be able to make yourself stronger and not let the attitude or the ego get in the way.
Yeah, you know, an attitude and ego can certainly take a beating if you make the wrong call. You know, Brian Patty was devastated afterwards. You know, you run a great race, put a great race car on your driver, you make the wrong call there, and it's devastation. But those guys have said they put it past them. But what do you think, Kenny, when you're behind the wheel of the car? You 2 tires or 4?
Well, let me just say this. In the 90s, it was Jeff Gordon and Ray Evernham that changed the sport. They changed 2 tires to win the Coke 600 over Rusty Wallace. That forever changed the sport. I say, let my crew chief make the call. You live and die by your leader.
Yeah. The crew chief, and I think we heard Brad say it, and we heard Pat Tryson say it. The crew chief is like the chess master. He sees the chess board. You're just a pawn on the board. You're the king, you're the knight, whatever it may be. All you see is what's in front of you. You know there's a car in front of you. You know there's a car behind you. 2 or 4, I don't know. All I know is I got to beat that car. He understands what everybody else did. He has all the knowledge and all the communication. He has all the facts. So he says 2, 4. You got to go with the chess master, and the chess master of the race is the crew chief. And Pat said 9 out of 10 times the crew chief's going to make the call.
Now, you don't get to win 4 championships unless you have a great chess master on top of your pit box, and that is the case for the number 48 team. They have made the right call in many situations, and that has resulted in championships. So now let's go to the Chad Knaus, for our Sunoco Pit Strategy of the Week.
You want to talk about changes? Well, this place in Pocono, it makes a lot of changes between June and to the race here in July. In July, the track heats up significantly. You lose an awful lot of grip, and you're really going to see a big change in the handling characteristics of your race car as you get to about 20, 25 laps on the fuel run. You can go about 33, maybe 35 laps in a Sunoco fuel run if you really push it there towards the end. But the thing you have to watch is there's going to be a lot of guys at the end of this race work this like a road course to where they go from that final checkered flag run all the way to 33 laps inside of that, and some of them are actually going to pit at that point and not come back onto pit road for the rest of the race. So it gets kind of jumbled up at the end of the race because you've got so many guys that are on the lead lap because this track is so long. It's going to be exciting, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be hot.
Chad, thank you. After the checkered flag is waved, be sure to check out NASCAR Victory Lane fueled by Sunoco and catch all of the race highlights in raw emotion straight from Victory Lane. Also go to speed.com, keyword Sunoco to enter for your chance to win an autographed flag signed by the winner of today's race. And if this one particular driver is the winner of today's race, he will have a chance to tie history. When we come back, we'll talk to the pride of Chesterfield, Virginia.
Hamlin's twice gone back-to-back in Pennsylvania. Today, he's trying for 3 straight. We'll show you how Denny's dominated Pocono and prognosticate on his chances for another W. Coming at you, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
They say there are different horses for different courses. Well, this course and this horse have gone very well together. Denny Hamlin, in 9 races, has 4 wins here at Pocono. And besides the fact that he walled the car during the celebration last time, that was his 3rd win in a row here for Denny. And he's certainly looking to get his 5th this time around. Now, let's take a look at what Denny's done since that Pocono win. Went out to Michigan, got a 1st place there. Not a good day at Infineon, not very good at Loudon or Daytona. Back up in the top 10 at Chicago and 15th place at Indianapolis. And if Denny is gonna bounce back and add to his win total this year, no place better to do it than to Pocono. Wendy?
Thank you, Johnny. Yes, here as the drivers' meeting just let out, Denny Hamlin, you have a long day ahead of us, especially with this rain. This is not the same car that you won here with 8 weeks ago. You brought a new chassis. How does this one fare to the one that you won with 2 months ago?
Well, it's got more speed, raw speed, that's for sure. But you know, we're going to just try to keep adjusting on it. We got it pretty close at the end of the practice yesterday, so it's, you know, it could be a race-winning car.
How much has the racetrack changed from when we were here? It's only 8 weeks, but a lot has happened here.
Yeah, the speeds were dramatically different. Even in qualifying, it was 6 tenths faster for the pole, and we were 4 or 5 tenths faster. So, I mean, it's, for some reason, can't really figure it out. It's the track has gotten faster over that last 8 weeks, and so we're going to just keep on digging and hopefully get this race in today.
How many chances can you guys take versus some of those other teams fighting to get into the chase right now? You are solidly in. You have a lot of wins on your win column with 5. What kind of chances are you and Mike Ford wanting to take?
Well, if it comes down to something like fuel mileage and we're close, we're more likely going to push it. The past 2 races here, we've had to come from 15th or worse in the last 15 laps to win this thing. And I feel like we've used up all of our luck as far as that's concerned. I think we need to, you know, if we're going to win it, hopefully it's a little bit more in a conservative way, but you never know what can happen. There was a lot of strong cars here in the spring, and you know, we're just going to have to make sure we keep our head on straight and you know, keep it for the end.
All right, drivers tell me they don't like stats and they don't pay attention, but obviously you know you're going for 3 wins in a row here at Pocono. Does that mean anything to you?
It does. I mean, it's you know, this is one of the racetracks where we feel like we need 10 points, and you know, if we can do anything we can do to try to get that, will help our chase cause and championship cause. So our FedEx car was strong yesterday, and now we hope to keep it strong today.
All right, well, good luck today, Denny Hamlin, who moved up a spot after Indianapolis last week, passing Jimmy Johnson 3rd in points. But keep in mind, Johnny, they both have 5 wins.
Yeah, those bonus points, Wendy, are so important right now, and these guys still want to win to collect them because, man, we've seen this championship come down to less than 10 points before, so you better want to go in with an extra 10.
What I noticed about Denny Hamlin at Pocono, he wins when you don't expect it. You're like, okay, Denny's not going to win this race, and halfway through, here he comes. So you never see it on the speed charts. You know, you might not predict him, but here he comes all the time.
Yeah, and this is a place, you know, he came here and he just liked this place. And this place fit his style, and he's dominated. And you look at his numbers, they're incredible. I look at Infineon. We looked at those numbers earlier. I look at Infineon and Daytona, and I don't look at those as bad races for Denny. He got caught up in other people's stuff. He had a bad race at New Hampshire. That surprised me. But then you go to Indy, and you look at some of these other places. I don't think it's as bad as what we're kind of sitting here thinking. I think he's really positive. I think he can come out of here with that 10 bonus points.
And do you guys love?
I love love. I love my
love.
wife.
Who doesn't love love?
Love.
The Toyota Sponsifier contest is one to love, and it's back once again. Toyota Racing Sponsifier 2 is on. Everyone's favorite Cup Design contest is back with new features and prizes. The grand prize is a trip to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race at Phoenix, where the winning design will be displayed on an actual Toyota Cup car. Enter today at toyotaracing.com. When we come back to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, he's the man in charge at the 29 car. Yet he has a boss as well, and the boss will be here to talk to us about the turnaround and the championship chase. For the second time this season, we are back on the triangular racetrack at the Pocono Raceway, and this track has been a true test of man and machine over the years. It is not the best track for Kevin Harvick, our points leader, but that could all change today as he has erased a lot of bad tracks over the course of this past year. Tony Stewart in the number 14. Actually, Denny Hamlin is going for 3 wins in a row here at this racetrack after winning his second last time. He could tie Bill Elliott all-time with his 5th win if he can get it today. Tony Stewart, the number 14, will lead us to the green flag as he has the pole position and is still looking for win number 1 of the season. Jamie McMurray has 2 wins this season, and he's got them at the 2 biggest races. He won the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400. With that in mind, let's take a look now at the championship standings as we get ready to take on Pocono for 500 long, hard miles of racing. Jeff Gordon is 184 behind Kevin Harvick, but that's really not where we're looking right now. The guys to keep an eye on now are pretty much from Jeff Burton on back.
I cannot believe Tony Stewart has not won. Maybe today, with him sitting on the pole, he will win.
Only 5 out of the top 12 have won so far. Some winners back here don't want to leave those points on the table. Jamie McMurray could have 20 bonus points in the chase, Kyle, if he makes it in.
But there's a lot of great drivers that haven't won. You look at Carl, you look at Biffle, you look at Mark Martin, you look at Clint Boyer, you look at Dale Jr., you look at these guys. There's a lot of guys that haven't won races that need those bonus points because that's going to either get them in the chase or knock them out of the chase.
This chase has been kind of hot and cold running water for Richard Childress Racing. One year he's got all 3 teams in. The next year, all 3 teams out. This year, as of right now, all 3 are in Hermie Sadler, but the idea is to keep them there.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Johnny. What a difference a year can make. Last year, the talk was Richard Childress Racing. This organization did not have a car in the chase right now, Richard, with 6 races to go. All 3 of your cars are in position to be in, but a long ways to go. My question to you is, you're a 1-car team that fields 3 cars, but I know you look at each individual team, you know, on an individual basis. Let's take each team and break it down. The 29 team, Kevin Harvick leading the points so far. What do you like about that team, and what are you looking for them heading down the stretch?
Well, I mean, the consistency, and they've won 2 races this year and been in a position to win several other ones. So I think their chances are really well. You know, we not only want to make the chase, we want to be a contender. We've been contenders in 07 and 08, and we just need to win a championship here.
And Kevin Harvick's got a good idea for winning big races. He wins the big ones now. The 31 car, when I think of Jeff Burton through the years, I think about kind of guy that kind of lays back in the bushes and he comes to the front at the end of a race. This year it's been with 15 laps to go, he's in the top 5, and then what happened to Jeff Burton? But those guys have been fast, and Jeff's had a great attitude all year long.
Yeah, I mean, of all 3 of our teams, they've been set in a position to win several races with 15 to 20 to go, and pits or whatever would happen would take the wins away. They've been real strong. I feel good about them being a contender, getting into the chase, and once we're in there, I think they can be a true contender as well.
In the 33 car of Clint Boyer, he does not have a win yet this year, but he's got that catbird seat, spot number 12. So I know you want to get that car in the chase, but you'd also like to get Clinton, that 33 team, and all those sponsors in the victory lane.
Yeah, we're really wanting to try to get a win with Clint and General Mills and all of our sponsors. But, you know, Clint's had a couple of mechanical failures, been involved in an accident or so. But, you know, other than that, they've had some really good runs. We just haven't been able to capitalize. So hopefully we'll get them in winner's circle here pretty soon and getting into the chase. With 6 to go, we're not comfortable where we're sitting right there for sure.
Well, one thing you can tell about a good organization, when all the teams were down, they were down across the board. Now that all the teams are good, all 3 of these cars have been consistently fast and running up front all year long, JR, and they got 3 locked in right now, and these guys got 6 races to go to try to get to victory lane and solidify their place in the points position. Johnny?
Hermie, thanks a lot. Now, certainly 6 races can be a long time. There's going to be 5 before we get to Richmond, but Richmond is a place where Clint Boyer has won before. And if you got 2 teammates out there that can potentially help you out on the racetrack when it comes down to Richmond, that's a good position for Clint Boyer to be in.
I think all of RCRs should put all their effort into Clint Boyer. I think they should help him, get him in. And here's why. Because you're reset. With 10 races to go, it's a do-over. I think they should help him.
Yeah, and I understand them trying to help Clint get into the chase. But let me tell you something. If I'm Richard Childress, I'm focused on that 29 and winning a championship. The 31 car, yeah, sorry, Jeff. I appreciate you being up in there. And Boyer, I appreciate you kind of helping me. But that 29 car can win the championship. He's won 2 races. He's running in the top 4 or 5. He was nowhere in the first part of the – you go back to the races early in the year, he'd be 29th or 30th. You'd look at the final rundown, it's like, God, how'd that 29 car finish 3rd? Where'd he come from? And that's the kind of year that Harvick's had. They can win the championship. I'd go for the championship more so than having 3 cars in the chase.
Yes, because 3 cars in the chase doesn't mean anything if one of them doesn't win the championship. All that'll be is a statistic instead of a trophy on the wall. We got to take another quick break here on NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot, but we want to remind you that Friday NASCAR wheels its way into Watkins Glen, and we're there for Sprint Cup practice and NASCAR trackside. Then on Saturday, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series tangles in the Music City. Coverage begins Friday at 12 Eastern Time, only on Speed. And still to come on NASCAR Race Day, we have Jamie Mack, driver of the #1, joining us live, and also the Biff, Greg Biffle, who's had some heartbreak at this racetrack, but some success as well. We'll be back.
He's got the season's 2 biggest wins and a handful of solid finishes. But Jamie Mack sitting outside of the chase looking in. We'll give you the peaks and valleys of his season and let you know if the top 12 is in his forecast.
Hell of a job, man. That's what we needed to finish.
Around the Turn, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. When it comes to the big races, no one has done it this year quite like driver #1, Jamie McMurray, as he has won the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400. Only 3 drivers have done it, and now Jamie McMurray's name goes on that list.
I mean, I just seem to be a lot more comfortable at EGR than my years at Roush. That was a tough place to fit into. It's such a big organization, and you know, they have so many great race car drivers over there that it's kind of hard to find your place. And I think coming back here, you know, they build really fast cars, and it's just, it's a lot different environment. So, you know, I've gotten this great opportunity to come back to EGR and just trying to make the most of it.
McMurray off turn 4 for the final time.
You got it, man. We won.
McMurray will get it. His first time out with Earnhardt Ganassi Racing. He will win the 52nd running of the Daytona 500.
Oh, my God. Dude, I am worn out. That was so awesome.
To be where I was last year, and for Johnny Morris and Chip and Felix,
How about that?
Bass Pro Shops, to take a chance on me and let me come back, it means a lot to me. What a way to pay them back.
Jamie McMurray began the 2010 season on familiar ground and with a renewed purpose, which immediately paid dividends.
I can't believe we just won the Daytona 500.
But since then, McMurray's season has been inconsistent at best.
There is trouble in turns 3 and 4.
Jamie McMurray had nowhere to go and needed a Truex.
Wrecks, bad luck, and some dismal finishes have kept the 1 car at bay.
Just hugged me down, getting at the corner. I got loose underneath him. Torn up really bad. Come down pit road for sure.
Averaging an 18th place finish, McMurray is 16th in points, 151 away from chase contention, and needs a hot streak over the next 6 races to muscle his way up to the promised land.
Jamie McMurray has brought the McDonald Chevrolet in. Right front flat tire again.
A bad day just got a little tougher for that team.
Yet, he leads the series in poles and has been there at the end at NASCAR's biggest races.
Dig hard, dig hard.
With 2nd place finishes at Talladega, the Southern 500 at Darlington,
Nice race there, Bono. Great way to call it. Good job with the pits all day, guys.
and the 600-mile marathon at Charlotte.
I don't think that Chip Ganassi will be too disappointed with the effort of McMurray tonight. His car has run so well, led the race. Pretty impressive.
And a triumphant return to victory lane at the legendary Brickyard.
McMurray started the
year winning the Daytona 500. Today, he wins the 2010 Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, giving Chip Ganassi a clean sweep of Indianapolis and the Triple Crown of Motorsports, the Daytona 500, the Indianapolis 500, and today, the Brickyard 400.
This time last season, a lot of people were wondering if Jamie McMurray was even going to have a ride in the Sprint Cup Series, but look at what he's done this season. 2 wins, 3 poles, 7 top 10 finishes, a lot of laps led, but the 2 most important laps he led were the final lap of the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400. Let's go back to Wendy Venturini.
Thank you, Johnny, the 3rd driver to win the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400. Very cool, Jamie. I know you've had a busy week because you went straight into testing on Monday. Have you had any time? I asked the same question to Bono, your crew chief. Had any time to kind of revel in the moment and celebrate it all?
A little bit. After we tested at Road Atlanta on Monday, Bono and I actually stopped by a little restaurant on the way to our house and hung out and had a beer, and it was fun to have all the people come up to the restaurant, in there and congratulate us. So maybe a little bit, but I think that for me, the celebration is obviously in victory lane, and then I think it's looking back like after the season's over and everything, and just, I don't know, spending time with your family at Thanksgiving or Christmas and talking to them. I think that's when it'll really be like exciting.
All right, here we are. We're 6 races to this chase cutoff. Take a deep sigh. I just saw you do that. What are your chances for this chase? Because this puts you 16th in points, 151 out.
Yeah, haven't really paid attention this week to points, and I've worked really hard if I got on the internet and there was something about points not to read that and to not even really pay attention to how many points out I am or who I am racing. This has been a really tough track for us, and I thought qualifying went really well. In race trim, our car, we could either make it pretty quick and drive really bad, or they made it really comfortable and it didn't seem to have the speed. So I told them I wanted to be comfortable today, and I thought that would pay off as the tires wore out. So this is the weekend for us to get through. I feel like the other races we should be fine.
All right, well, ignore the numbers I just gave you. Pay no attention to them. So when the race gets underway finally with this weather today, what are you expecting when the green flag drops?
Well, it just looked to me like the guys that were fast in happy hour were really loose and kind of out of control. And I had that here last time, and I couldn't race with anybody. I could run for about 10 laps, and then I would either get passed, or if I could catch somebody, I couldn't pass them because my car was so out of control. So we have set our car up quite a bit tighter and made it a lot more comfortable to drive. And I don't know that it'll be good for the first 8 or 10 laps, but we hope that if we get some long runs, it should be we'd be better.
Well, good luck to you, and it's the same thing I heard from a lot of drivers in practice, so you're right on cue. Johnny, Jamie McMurray hoping to make it 2 weeks in a row here at Pocono.
All right, he probably hadn't had that smile off his face since they won the Brickyard 400. So those are 2 huge victories. And guys, I think it's pretty safe to say that if he doesn't make the chase, he can look back on this season and say, man, it was pretty dang successful, because it starts out with him just getting a ride.
I truly believe that Jamie McMurray was so exhausted from last year when Roush said, okay, we're going to have to let you go. And the kid's sitting there all winter long with no ride, and all of a sudden, he wins the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400. Kyle, I think he's saying, hey, whatever I get from here is a bonus.
And I do too. We did it last week in Victory Lane. We interviewed him, and he has stayed consistent. Whether that's the company line or that's his spin, he has stayed consistent. We're not concerned about points. We're doing what we're doing. We're going to go out. We're building this team. He's got the Daytona 500 trophy. He's got the Indy, the Brickyard trophy. Only the 3rd driver in the history of the sport to do both of them in the same season. That's phenomenal in itself. So I think really to be in the chase is like icing on the cake for him. He's got his cake, and he's enjoying it this year, and he deserves it.
And surprise, surprise, like Gomer Powell would say, we thought it was all, surprise, surprise. We all thought it was going to be about Juan Pablo Montoya. And all of a sudden, here comes Jamie. I didn't see that one
Never
coming.
Saw it. Nobody ever
Hey,
saw
guess what I got? You didn't see this coming.
What in the world?
Look at this. This is a hunk of the Daytona International Speedway. They just tore it up, and we got a hunk.
Look here, Kai. See what happened? It's old.
No, wait,
here,
that's where Jamie McMurray drove.
I think that's some of my black marks from where I spun out down there
That's
a few
the
times.
real
There it is.
asphalt.
That is asphalt.
Here's where Jamie drove to win the 500. He drove right over that spot right there.
That's pretty wicked right there.
This is kind of messy.
That's really the white line right there.
It's a yellow line.
I
don't know.
I'm a scientist.
You can own this. You can have
That actually,
this can be yours. Not this big. Not this big.
If you get it, get a towel with it. We made a mess of this thing. From August 2nd through the 8th, race fans who purchase Daytona 500 tickets will also receive a piece of Daytona International Speedway asphalt. Race fans can take advantage of this special offer by calling 1-800-PIT-SHOP or visiting Daytona500.com. When we come back, we'll have a guy who's won at Daytona but not in the 500. The Biff joins us when we come back. We got to clean up this place, man. We made a mess, Kyle.
Next week, we head to the Empire State for the second and last road course of the season, where Smokes won 5 of the last 8. Will the right turns lead to his first win of the year? Or will another Bubble Boy solidify their chase position? Live from Watkins Glen at 10 a.m. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
Welcome back, everyone, to Pocono Raceway. In 15 races on this track, Greg Biffle still has yet to claim a win. He had a good run going at Indy, and he's had good runs going here before, but has failed to capitalize on the victory so far. But nonetheless, if you stick with the Biff, you're eventually going to end up in victory lane. Right, Hermie?
You're right, JR, and Greg and I were just having a fun time talking about a couple of years ago when you decided not to stick with the Biff, and Biff had a sign up here in the coach lot, and I picked him, and I think you had a good run that day. But first of all, on a serious note, you told me before we came on the air, you actually got a chance to speak to Jack Roush on the phone just a few moments ago. Tell the fans what you can about Jack, his condition, and his spirits.
Well, the first thing he was, how's your race car? You know, he wanted to know how the cars are running and you know, how we're running this week and what we need for speed, and, you know, asking about, you know, how we stacked up against all the other cars. And I told him we're right there, you know, top 10, want to be better. And, you know, he's like, well, we got all the tools to do it, you know, whatever. I'm sorry I'm not there to help you. And so he's in great spirits. Wish he was here. And it was just neat for him to want to talk to the drivers on the phone before the race today. And I got a chance to talk to him. I'm excited.
Let's talk a little bit, go back 1 week to Indy. You guys were right there, and it had to be a fun feeling for you to be able to see the front and drive up and take the lead. And a place like Indy, it shows that you guys are starting to get some of that speed back that you need to compete for some race wins.
Yeah, I mean, it was really exciting to run up there with a 3 and Ford Fusion and to be able to run with a 42 and be able to pass and lead a lot of that race. It felt really good. And at one point I thought, man, I really got this thing, you know, won if I do play my cards right and everything happens. And, you know, I knew it would come down to something at the end, and it was 2 tires or 4 tires, and Jamie had a pretty fast car. So just wish we'd have done 2, maybe get a chance to race with him. But, you know, top 5 finish at Indy, that was great. And come here today, you know, this is one of our good tracks at Pocono, and see what we can do.
Well, you're locked in the chase for right now, but 6 races to go. And I ask this question a lot, but how do you race? I mean, what's your focus? Do you take that extra chance, not only in the pits, but on the racetrack trying to get that win? Or do you have to kind of somewhat be defensive with 6 races to go?
Well, I think that we do all that we can to try and win, but we can't take, you know, leap of faith, you know, where we might run out of gas or we might do something, you know, that's going to cost us a lot of positions. And a lot of times we pay attention to what, you know, the 88 and the 5 and the, you know, 33 are doing. Guys right around us. If we have a little margin, maybe we can take a little bit of a chance. But, you know, we're trying to win everything we can and get the best finish we can. We have 6 good racetracks coming up. I think that we got a good opportunity to get in, especially how fast our cars are running right now.
Well, that's one thing, JR, that sometimes you overlook when you're battling to get in the chase. If you're a little bit further up in the points, you can race your race. But like Biff said, you got to watch everybody around you, because making the chase is very, very important these days, Johnny.
Absolutely. It was the Biff himself that coined the phrase second-class citizen if you're outside of the chase looking in. But one thing about the Biff, we said earlier in the program that Elliott Sadler has joined an elite group of guys who have won in all 3 of NASCAR's top series. Greg Biffle has an opportunity to become the first guy to get the Triple Crown, to be a champion in the Truck Series, the Nationwide Series, and the Cup Series. So he really wants to be in that chase.
Greg Biffle got really famous not just by winning races, but being out of control and a little sideways. He was like that at Indy. Usually when you're sideways, you're not going anywhere. But we talked to the Biff afterwards. I liked what he said. He says, we've got new motors, and that's why I'm faster. And his crew chief, Greg Irwin, said, I think we understand the race cars a little bit better, Kyle, so I think he's turning it around.
Yeah, and I was impressed. The Fords have made that little bit of gain that they've been looking for all year long. From New Hampshire on, and these last 5 or 6 races, they've just chipped away little by little. We've seen the 99. We've seen the 9. We've seen the 16 and the 17. We've seen these guys. So these guys are poised to get into the chase and then be a factor in the chase.
Well, you know, one huge part of coming to the racetrack on a Sunday morning or even a Saturday afternoon is the fact that the barbecues and the grills come out. We have some great chefs in the infield at these racetracks, but we also have our own chef on speed. He's Chef Nicky. He's the racing chef, and he's got some great programs coming up.
I'm Nicky Morse, and they call me the Racing Chef. You're not going to want to miss our next episode, an all-new day and time. David Ruderman puts on a special gift.
That sounds like Michael.
Does that sound like Michael?
He's always got me doing something, you know, and plus he knows I tend to get a little messy.
Then cooks up some tasty corn.
Incredible taste.
I'm out in Sonoma doing what I love, cooking with the fans. And then we're gonna eat like kings, right?
Yeah, we're gonna eat like kings.
I have an all-access pass to the CIA, the Culinary Institute of America. It's actually open to the public, and what an awesome place it is. And finally, the man who controls the Herminator each week.
You know, it's a little bit like herding cats and babysitting at the same time, but we work up a big appetite, man. We need a good breakfast.
I want to come and cook for you. Race Day's own Johnny TV comes by for some oh-so-delicious breakfast. Be sure to check out The Racing Chef next Saturday at 7 a.m. on Speed.
And let me tell you, that was good stuff. Why are you moving away from me, Kyle?
Babysitting?
Herding cats? Herding cats.
What's that mean? What's that mean?
You guys know I love you.
What does that mean?
It means it's a little bit like babysitting and herding cats. Nicky said it, not me.
Am I a cat?
You said it. What do you mean? We just saw it on tape. You said it.
Babysitting us.
We'll talk about this in the break, but we got to take a break right now. When we come back, we'll have our Sunoco performance picks. And we'll say who we think's going to win this thing. You guys aren't really mad, are you?
I love you with all my heart.
NASCAR Race Day is built by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And brought to you in part by the General Automobile Insurance Services. For the best car insurance rates in town, call 1-800-GENERAL now.
If you're coming to the Pocono Raceway, along the way, you may want to check out the Delaware Water Gap. It's on the border of New Jersey and Pennsylvania, where the Delaware River cuts through a large ridge of the Appalachian Mountains. The Delaware Water Gap is a perfect place for rafting, canoeing, swimming, fishing, hiking, rock climbing. Not much you can do there. We've even had a piece of rock on the set today.
My Lord, you can do a lot there.
Do a lot there. And you know, you can also do a lot with your Sunoco performance picks as well. And a devastating week last week. Kenna Wallace has jumped up one spot.
Wow.
I picked Jimmy Johnson last week, and he had a bad week.
And you still beat me. Still had Juan Pablo.
Juan Pablo Montoya.
I didn't pick anybody.
That was a problem for Juan Pablo.
I didn't pick anybody.
Juan Pablo Montoya.
Now, finally, you got to pick yourself. If you go, you know where today, you're going to have, we're going to know what the problem was.
I got you.
Okay.
All right. So today I pick Hunter. This is Lunchbox's daughter. It's her 9th birthday. Happy birthday, Hunter. That's who I picked for the race today.
You can't. You got to pick a Sprint Cup driver.
I can't pick Hunter?
Nope.
Happy birthday, Hunter. I'm picking the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. He has dominated here. I don't care. I couldn't pick the 48, so I went with the 11. The 11's my guy.
Nicely done.
And since this is a fantasy pick, I'm going to have a fantasy right here. I got lots of hair. I want a lot of hair. See here, look, I don't have much hair, so now I have a lot of hair. My pick is Mark the Kid Martin because he's 13th in the points. I think his back against the wall, and I think he's going to come out swinging here in these last 6 races. I don't think he's won here. And
no, second, but a lot of times.
A lot of seconds from Mark Martin here.
A lot of seconds.
Oh, JR.
Yeah, I'm next. I'm after Kenny now.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not going to last. That's not going to last very long because I'm going with Jimmy Johnson. Car number 48 had the now guys, be nice. Had the fastest average among 10 laps out on the racetrack. And you know what always happens with the 48? If they have a bad race, they bounce back the next weekend in a big way, and they're going to do it this time as well, Miss Wendy.
I think you guys have it all wrong. I'm going with a guy who can take a lot of chances today. It's our points leader, Kevin Harvick. He has everything to gain, nothing to lose in his case except those 10 bonus points to add to his win column. I think he's going to get the job done for the first time in Pocono ever, and maybe I can gain some points on one Mr. John Roberts. Let's head over to Herbie.
You guys left me a lot of picks. You got Jeff Gordon. You got Tony Stewart. All these people you could, and like I said, I'm picking Joey Logano to win the race today. Joey Logano, my man. guys.
Or Moose and Rocco there.
His name's Moose.
That was good.
All right, so one thing everybody is looking at right now are the skies in and around Pocono. There is a chance of showers today, but as of right now, we are dry and ready to go racing, and everybody is out in full force here at the racetrack. If you take a look at the race day forecast at 1 o'clock, 70 degrees, 30% chance of precipitation, and that has gone down greatly over the course of the last couple of hours. So Wendy Venturini, it looks like we are in very good shape for racing today.
We sure are. It looks like Joey Logano put on some weight since last week. I'm just kidding. That's Andrew on the 20 crowd. Let's show you the radar here because it's good news. We do have some green on the radar, Johnny, but it's all good because this was full of green about an hour ago. The good news is we are right here where the cell phone is located, right near Blakesley, Pennsylvania, and this has all broken up here, and we think that this storm is all that we have left. At 1 o'clock, we had a 60% chance, but it's all breaking up. And the good news is there is absolutely nothing behind it. So keep our fingers crossed. It just looks kind of yucky out here today, but we will get some racing in. Hermie?
Well, Wendy, today I do not want to be a crew chief because our whole show has been talking about 2 tires, 4 tires. Add to that today at Pocono, how do I get my driver comfortable around this racetrack with 3 distinctly different corners? On top of that, I got to follow this weather. When will we get this race in? Will it be a race to halfway? Will we go the full distance? What do I do to get my track position at the end of this race, especially if I'm 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, or right outside this top 12 in points? The crew chief today has a lot of things to consider, and including trying to make your driver happy for 500 miles. Johnny?
Hermie, thanks a lot. I know it's really hard to keep drivers happy. Any drivers, it's hard to keep happy, like you guys up here. But anyway, the crew chief has to be the chess master. They always earn their paycheck, but also they're really going to earn it today.
Well, you want to tune in today because you want to find out if Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt Jr. will get inside the top 12. I believe there's going to be a lot of drama played out, Kyle, in these last 6 races.
Yeah, and this is going to be a race of strategy. You've got the weather, you've got 2 tires, 4 tires, you've got drivers up front, you've got drivers in the chase, drivers trying to stay. There's so many strategies that have to play out in these next 6 races to get to the chase. But this is one of those places that can make or break some people.
And let us not forget that it was not too long ago that we started the double file restart right here at this racetrack, and we could see him again. We've seen overtime almost half the races so far this year.
Hey, yeah, tune in to see if Jeff Gordon's new spotter, Mr. Dickerson, will make him a better restart and help him with these double file restarts and win a race.
What do we see, Kyle? We see overtime, or does it finish under green?
The truck race yesterday was overtime, and I'm telling you, this is Pocono. You never know what goes on at Pocono, man.
Yeah, matter of fact, a guy could run out in front of you on the
You never know. You never know.
Hey, and
or a deer.
A deer ran into Neil Bonnet's car one time.
Strange things can and will happen on this triangle at Pocono, but one thing we do know for sure is the fans up here are very passionate. Takes a lot more than a little bit of rain to stop them here. Want to thank everybody who joined us on race day and all you fans for coming along for the ride. Be sure to join us tonight on Speed for NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco, to wrap up all the action on the racetrack. Have a great weekend, everybody, and enjoy the race.